These sea snakes possess extremely terrifying venom, but they cannot avoid being hunted by humans. It's hard to believe, but these reptiles can be processed into delicious dishes. How did the Japanese catch and turn these poisonous snakes into food? If you want to know, watch this video until the end. Scary! How do Japanese people catch and eat poisonous snakes? Sea snakes mainly live in the warm tropical waters of the Indian Ocean and western Pacific Ocean. They are often found in shallow seas where coral reefs are located. Most of the time, sea snakes live underwater because they adapt very well to this environment. However, they also often have to rise to the surface to breathe. Adult sea snakes can be about 120 to 150 centimeters long. Their tails are shaped like oars, so they swim underwater very quickly. Sea snakes are considered gentle and they only attack when they feel threatened. The venom of sea snakes is 10 times stronger than that of rattlesnakes, so they are really dangerous. These women were on their way to the beach to start work. When night falls, their work begins. At this time, sea snakes begin to move towards the shore in search for shelter and drink fresh water. They gathered in caves without knowing the danger lurking. The woman uses a flashlight to search for snakes. As soon as a snake appeared, she quickly headed towards the cave without any protective gear. With just one quick operation, this woman was able to hold the snake in her hand without fear. Snake catching operations are really quick and professional because this is also a profession that helps them make money. Sea snakes are purchased by traders and stored in foam boxes. They really aren't too flexible when moving on land. All of these snakes will be transported for consumption. Many styrofoam boxes are placed here. It can be seen that the number of snakes collected is very large. Snake purchasing activities are bustling, but you also need to be wary of their venom. If you are not careful, you can be bitten by a snake at any time. These fishermen may be familiar with this, so they quickly apply first aid to limit the dangers of snake venom. Sea snakes are a particularly valuable dish in Okinawa, Japan. Every year, hundreds of tons of sea snakes are hunted and consumed, most of which come from Southeast Asian countries such as Thailand and Vietnam. All snake skin, meat, blood, and bile are used for food and medicine purposes. There are many ways to process sea snakes. You can handle them with a cut, thus collecting their blood. Sea snakes are considered to be a food that helps increase vitality, so they are popular with many people. When preparing a snake, just use a knife to make a cut along the length of a snake's abdomen. All internal organs and dirt can be cleaned. You just need to rinse with water. In addition, Japanese people often prepare snakes by boiling water and scraping off the snake's outer scales. The inner leather layer is also fully utilized. Sea snakes can be prepared into many dishes, but sea snake soup is especially famous. After being processed, the snake meat is cut into small pieces and put into the stew pot. The skin is also treated similarly. Snake meat is stewed with vegetables such as carrots, radishes, pork bones, and some other spices. All these elaborate processing steps create a delicious and nutritious snake soup. Pay attention to this green part. That is snake bile. Snake bile can be mixed with wine and drunk directly because they feel it is very good for the health.
China, Japan, and Southeast Asia are regions with cuisines that favor eels, and due to high demand, eel farms in Asia are very developed. But did you know that in the United States, eels are one of the harmful invasive species that need to be eradicated? So let's find out the harmful effects of eels on the United States, and why Americans don't eat eels in today's video. Swamp eel farms in Southeast Asia typically supply both domestic and export markets. The industry is estimated to be worth more than $5 billion in Southeast Asia alone. Farmers typically use intensive farming methods, where the eels are raised in controlled environments such as concrete tanks, earthen ponds, or cages. This allows for better control over water and feed quality, and makes feeding or harvesting easier for farmers. The eel farming industry is very important to the economy and people's lives in many areas, especially for families in rural areas, because eel farming brings high profits thanks to their commercial value in the market. Not only does it bring income and economic stability to eel farmers, this industry also provides jobs for many people, from production, care, harvesting, to processing and distribution. This helps improve people's lives, especially in areas with few job opportunities, thereby contributing to ensuring social security for people. Eel dishes are consumed in most parts of Asia, from luxury restaurants to street food stalls, because eel meat is very nutritious and has a moderate fat content that is good for the heart. Eel meat also provides omega-3, a fatty acid that is beneficial for the brain and cardiovascular system. Eel protein is a high-quality protein, containing all of the essential amino acids needed for the growth and maintenance of a healthy body. Eels are very popular in Asia, but in the United States, swamp eels are considered an invasive species, and Americans do. Swamp eels were likely introduced to the United States in the late 20th century. They are found in states such as Florida, Georgia, and Hawaii, especially in freshwater and brackish water environments. They are highly adaptable and can move on land in search of new habitats, allowing them to spread beyond their original point of introduction. In areas where swamp eels live, they can negatively impact commercial and recreational fisheries by preying on valuable fish species and altering aquatic habitats, causing serious economic impacts for farm owners in particular, and the aquaculture industry in general. American swamp eels are also voracious predators, eating a variety of native species, including fish, crustaceans, amphibians, and insects. This predation leads to declines in populations of native species, some of which may already be threatened or endangered, causing the ecosystem in Florida and Georgia areas to become increasingly seriously affected. Managing swamp eels is also difficult and expensive, because these eels can survive in low oxygen environments and tolerate a variety of water conditions. They can also move overland to find new bodies of water, allowing them to colonize new areas with ease. Control requires significant resources from local and state governments, includes monitoring programs, research, and active removal efforts. Swamp eels were likely introduced to the United States in the late 20th century. They are found in states such as Florida, Georgia, and Hawaii, especially in freshwater and brackish water environments. They are highly adaptable and can move on land in search of new habitats, allowing them to spread beyond their original point of introduction. In areas where swamp eels live, they can negatively impact commercial and recreational fisheries by preying on valuable fish species and altering aquatic habitats, causing serious economic impacts for farm owners in particular, and the aquaculture industry in general. American swamp eels are also voracious predators, eating a variety of native species, including fish, crustaceans, amphibians, and insects. This predation leads to declines in populations of native species, some of which may already be threatened or endangered, causing the ecosystem in Florida and Georgia areas to become increasingly seriously affected. Managing swamp eels is also difficult and expensive, because these eels can survive in low oxygen environments and tolerate a variety of water conditions. They can also move overland to find new bodies of water, allowing them to colonize new areas with ease. Control requires significant resources from local and state governments, includes monitoring programs, research, and active removal efforts. Furthermore, traditional control methods, such as netting and poisoning, are often ineffective against marsh eels due to their burrowing behavior and ability to survive in a variety of environments. Their elusive nature and ability to hide in mud make them difficult to detect and eradicate. Furthermore, marsh eels are capable of rapid reproduction, with female eels able to lay thousands of eggs per season. This high reproductive capacity allows them to quickly establish large populations, making control efforts increasingly difficult. So, do you know why Americans don't eat eels when they are a free source of protein? In the United States, there is no culinary tradition of eating marsh eel. Even Europeans did not eat eel regularly hundreds of years ago. Furthermore, marsh eels, which are commonly found in the wild, can accumulate contaminants such as heavy metals or toxins from polluted water sources. This raises food safety concerns, so the consumption of marsh eel in the United States faces many obstacles. In addition, in the United States there are many more popular and easily marketed seafoods, such as shrimp, crab, lobster, and various types of fish. Therefore, marsh eel has little place in the food market. To this day, wild marsh eel populations are considered harmful and must be eradicated in the United States.